What's going on, everybody? So today I'm going to be working on the $600 SC300. I have a small little exhaust leak, and it's a little bit annoying, just like the background noise that you're hearing right now with the grass being cut. I've been trying to wait for it to get quieter, but it's just not looking like it's going to be happening today. Everybody's cutting the grass today, so we're just going to ride with it and roll with it. But anyways, back on the $600 SC300, I have a small little exhaust leak, and I've had this exhaust leak for quite some time, so let me show you what I'm talking about here. So where do I begin? A couple months ago I installed a Toyota Supra TT mid pipe, and everything lined up smoothly, everything went great, and the exhaust had a small leak, but I didn't really care because it was much better than the leak that I had before. I just rolled with it. But now it's just a little bit more annoying and I need to fix it. I'm gonna address it. So I'm gonna show you guys how I'm going to be addressing this. I have the absolute cheapest headers that I could find online. I mean, I spent 115 bucks for this setup. And right now it's discontinued, at least on the site that I bought it from, which I'm going to include the link to everything in the bottom of the details here. But it's discontinued, and yeah, the only concern that I have about this, it being so cheap, typically with cheap exhaust components, they usually either don't last long or they don't line up well, and I hope that's not going to be the case here, but we're going to give it a shot. We're gonna give it a try and see how this thing goes, and hopefully we get some really good exam notes from this setup that we're about to install. In addition to this, I have a couple of more items. I have the gasket set that came with the exhaust. You already know how I feel about these. I usually don't like these because they're cheap and they don't last long and they always cause leaks. So these are the gaskets that I actually bought from Toyota, and I'm going to include all the part numbers and everything, so if you guys want to try this setup for yourself, you can. But these seal much better, and they're actually not that expensive. And moving along, we have the factory nuts and studs. Now, typically with older cars, whenever you're removing the exhaust, I always expect the unexpected. This is something that always usually will happen. You try to pull the nut out, and the stud comes with it. So I'm expecting this. Who knows? I may just ride it out if that does happen and save all of this stuff for when I go NAT. So yeah. And then of course, last but not least, we have the oxygen sensors. And I'll touch a little bit more on this later on when I get to replacing this, because we're gonna have to do something with that. But right now, let's get started with this, and yeah. All right, so the first thing you want to do is you want to remove the intake. There is going to be 10mm screws all around, so we're going to go ahead and just remove all of them, and then this, I'm going to try to take this out one piece. So I'm going to cheat. I'm going to use some power tools. Set that to the side. All right, so now what you want to do is you want to remove the heat shield. So grab your 12mm socket right here, and I'm just gonna break them free first and then hit it with my impact. The reason why I'm doing it this way is because I want to make sure they're not stuck, and I don't want to snap anything, even though this really doesn't matter. All right, I think that's good. Be careful with this. Beautiful. Let's put it right here. Start parts. All right, so the next thing you want to do is you want to unplug both of your oxygen sensors. So you have one right here, and one right here. All right, and they're zip tied, so I'll disconnect these later. They're zip tied to the harness, zip tied out of the way. And then now is actually a good time to break these free. I'm not going to take them off now, but I just want to break them free because they're probably super tight on here. So once again, we're going to use our 12mm. And just break them free. 12 mil deep. Let's go. Oh, that's not so bad. All right, so after you get all the nuts free, you just pull the exhaust out. You want to make sure you get everything out of the way. You want to take the oxygen sensors off so that they don't press up against anything, and it just comes straight out from the top. So just like this, and you sit it down. I'm actually kind of surprised that only one stud came out. Usually a lot more would have came out, at least in the BMW world, but that's this one here, which I've already replaced. I put the brand new one in, and I think I'm just gonna keep the stock gaskets. You know, it looks fine. I hope I don't regret that in the future, but if I do, I already have the replacement ones, and if I don't need to use the OEM gaskets, then I'll just save them for when I go NAT. Also, I wanted to kind of show you some key differences here in case you don't know. Obviously, the cheap one doesn't have a catalytic converter on it, so it's supposed to be more free-flowing and a little bit louder, or a lot of it louder. But the main thing that I wanted to show you here, I kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, is the oxygen sensors. You have a bung here for it. It's like the screw-in type, and here's like the bolt-in type. So obviously you're gonna have to do some, a little bit of modifying here. It's not much, but that's where the oxygen sensors come into play. So this is what I pulled out of the box, and basically it's really simple. We just cut this harness, we cut the wire, and we basically crimp it here and use the heat shrink, and everything's gonna come out beautifully. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this in a second, but as I'm looking at this, I really think that the fitment of this is gonna give me some issues. I'm not seeing everything lined up. Like if you look really closely here, this looks a little bit lower than this side. So the welds look pretty good, right? You see the welds look good there, but fitment, I don't know if it's got bent up during shipment or if this is just how it comes. So I might have to actually fight with this to get it in. All right, let's focus on this for now, these things, and then we'll jump back and install this. All right, so I got everything in, everything's installed, everything's back on the ground. Let me show you what it all looks like. It's about to get real hot in here. No exhaust shield. Looks good so far. Yeah, right now I'm getting ready to do some before and after sound comparisons. So we'll do some cold starts, then some revs where I go 3, 4, 5, 6K, whatever, floor it, and we'll see if we can hear a difference. And then we'll take it around for a spin, see how it sounds inside the car, and go from there. So to me, I feel like it's significantly louder, but according to the meter, I don't know what it is, but the last max number that I saw it at was 125, and I believe the first round was 120, 121. So it's only a little bit louder according to the meter. I don't know what that translates to exactly, but right now at idle, it's idling not that bad. But when I get on it, I feel like this is gonna be a cop magnet. So let's take it around for a spin, let's do a few pulls, and let's see how this goes. Let's see what it sounds like inside the car. Hopefully the camera did a good job of picking some of the sound up. But if not, as far as what I thought of it, overall, it is a little louder, but not too bad. For me, I like it. Hopefully I don't get pulled over now because of it, but down low, it's perfectly fine. When you're cruising, when you're on it, it's a lot louder. But as far as like power increases, there's no way for me to tell until I actually put it on a dyno, which I do plan on doing. I'm probably gonna do a round 2 of that while it's still NA, and then we'll see how much horsepower we have with the full exhaust on. But as far as how I felt, initially I didn't think it felt a little faster, but after driving it around for more than 20 minutes and getting used to the car again, it does feel a lot faster. Well, not a lot, a little faster, just a little bit, a little faster than how it felt before I did the upgrade here. So anyways, we'll see what it says on the dyno. Numbers don't lie, right? I can feel however I want, but the numbers don't lie. Anyways, if you guys like this, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you have any questions about anything you saw, comment below, and yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.